The USA BMX pre-show from Nashville, Tennessee starts right now. I am Donnie Robinson. I am not Tyler Brown. So you might have thought that Tyler got way more ugly, but that is not the case. So being Donnie, you may have seen me from such shows as this one, just sitting in that seat. But I'm over here this weekend because Tyler had a prior commitment in California. He's part of a barbershop quartet. So he had that commitment to, hold on. And the producer is telling me that that is false information. Tyler's not part of a barbershop quartet. But I do know that he had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Tyler. He is a big 3'5", 35 years old. And hold on, that is also not correct. I don't know how old Tyler is. But I do have this guy next to me, Optimum Nutrition, Dan's competition, Donnie's competition, Mr. Tyler Farrow. Tyler, what the heck are you doing in that seat?
I don't know, Big Don. I think you volunteered me. You signed me up.
It's
pre-signed?
possible.
Pre-signed?
I could have done that through the ABA, USA BMX, pre-signed for pre-show.
You missed when we used to travel together and do that stuff together, hang out.
We used to travel together, and now we only see each other on the circuit, on the gate, which is okay, but now you're filling in for Donnie this weekend in that seat.
I'm filling in for Donnie, who's now in Tyler's seat.
Yes, this is Tyler's show. We're just all here to try and make it survive this weekend with him not here. So Tyler, so last weekend we had two actual events. We had the USA BMX event in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we also had the Florida State Series finale. Where were you at last weekend?
Last weekend, I was in the Florida State Cup Series Finals in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay, do you want to expand on that at all? Like, why weren't you in Albuquerque? Why did you choose the Florida Series instead?
Well, I live in Florida, so it's a lot closer.
Oh.
And I was leading the points going into it, so I had a pretty good shot at winning the overall title.
That is a good reason to stay home. You're a fan favorite in the state of Florida, of course, but always putting on great shows during those races. Not some easy competition in that Florida series. Am I correct?
No, it was pretty tough this year. We had guys from all over. I mean, we had national double A's come in. We had foreigners coming in from, like Sergio Salazar came in for one of them. We had Justin Posey, Jeff Upshaw, Logan Collins came down for a few. Austin Loby's now living in Florida, so we had quite a few different guys come out.
Okay, so it was obviously a good show, and you did end up winning the race, or just the title, or for the people that don't know?
I went on to win every lap that day, plus the finals, okay, and won the overall title for the season.
So it's not a bad weekend, right?
No, it was a pretty good weekend.
It's a good weekend. Okay, speaking of the weekend, did you follow any of the action in Albuquerque?
I did a little bit with some of the tweets I saw, and I watched the videos that Gmo posted afterwards of the finals.
What did you think of the track that you saw online?
It looked good online. I heard some mixed emotions about it, but I wasn't there, so I can't really tell you. Were you there, Don?
I was there, and the track actually was better than people let on. You know, it actually didn't race that bad. Of course, I didn't race well on it. I had my own personal struggles with it. But a couple of the guys that didn't have struggles with it were the Haro team members of Nick Long and Kurt Picard, Kurt Picard, the Kiwi, the New Zealander, who doesn't spend a lot of time in America, but when he does, he is absolutely dangerous, and he proved it last weekend. He was on the pre-show as a guest, went on to be the winner of Sunday's event in Albuquerque. Nick Long, of course, coming off a streak of some performances that he didn't feel were up to his level, and he showed that he was still in the mix by taking the win on Saturday. So, Haro, are you riding a Haro, right?
I do ride a Haro frame.
So that's good. I mean, your teammates, everybody should be rejoicing. Everybody had a great weekend that weekend, right?
It was a pretty good weekend, I guess.
Okay, I think that's good. So yeah, the recap of Albuquerque was basically, the Haro guys making it happen. Sam Willoughby may not have looked up to his normal top notch, but he still put it in there for a second and a third on the weekend, which again, in this class right now is spectacular. I know that he is on his 5th weekend in a row of traveling with, Supercross races, USA BMX races. He had a couple events in Australia. So for him to pull off, that type of weekend on that schedule is unbelievable. We expect nothing less for him, this weekend. And Jason Rogers, J-Raj, has been...
J-Raj, Coach Raji.
He was back in the mix on Sunday in Albuquerque, making the main event. Very proud of that kid. He did end up having a crash in the main event. I think he had a little bit of an injury. I don't know how long it's going to take him out, but we know the J-Raj, right? It's not going to keep him out for long.
Oh, the J-Raj will be back for sure. I would assume within the next couple weekends, probably Rockford.
I would assume he'd be here tomorrow.
You think?
I would think. I don't know. I haven't really kept tabs on him, but
I don't know what his injury was, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's that serious. So I think we're going to see J-Raj back on the circuit here this weekend. So have you looked at the track here in Nashville, or have you been here in prior years?
I have been here in prior years. I actually did a secret training session last night on the track.
Oh, wow, this is news.
So I got some inside scoop for you on the track.
This is good. So speak to the people out there. How has this track evolved over the past, or how's it looking this year? What's the special lines on this track?
It's pretty similar to last year. I don't think they changed much on the jumps, but the first turn seems to have been resurfaced with a new asphalt coat. They changed the hill. It's like a full-size standard hill now into the regular runoff, and they got a new gate as well that's got a bunch of new sponsors on it. I think it's a Onyx gate, I believe, and it's nice. It's fast. The whole track is fast.
So every track has their staple, their mark that you know that you're going to face when you get there. What is it about this track?
This track is wide open and hold on.
Is it the first straightaway? I mean, the first straightaway is like a quarter mile long.
The first straightaway, you are peaking some serious speed, like supercross speed at that tabletop, the first jump.
I know. I haven't been here in like 15 years. And
you haven't been here?
It's true. I was on Powerlight the last time I was here. I believe Matt Polkamp, who's in the back of the camera, he was even like amateur the last time I was here. So again, like that's always been the thing about this track, is the super long first straightaway. So I think we're going to see, again, a lot of guys that are super strong, have that leg speed going in the amateur classes, in the pro classes, really excel on this track, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's long. It's not a real tight, short track. It's not going to go too quick. So there might be some other racing besides the first straightaway, some turns and some passes in the long rhythm section that goes from all the way down the third straight. So.
Well, that is nice to know. We're going to see some good racing here this weekend. Hopefully we can be a part of that. We'll start off with our first guest here on the pre-show right after this first commercial break.
USA BMX is the world's largest sanctioning body for the sport of bicycle motocross racing. Every week, riders from age 2 to as old as 60 are racing BMX at a local track. With skill levels including novice, intermediate, expert, and even pro, there is an opportunity for everyone to compete. With over 400 tracks in North America, you are guaranteed to find a track in your area. All it takes is a bicycle and helmet to get started. BMX is the only action sport in the Olympic Games. For more information and to find a track near you, visit usabmx.com and get started today.
All right, we're back with the USA BMX pre-show Nashville. We have Corey Cookie Cook in the building.
What's up, guys?
Pro Max rider.
Yes, sir. Doing out here for Pro Max box, and feeling good this weekend. You know, I had a bad crash last weekend.
Cookie, we didn't ask you anything. what do you just come on the show and you're just like, yeah, this is what's going on. These are my sponsors, and this is what I did on Monday and Tuesday. We didn't ask you anything.
I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself.
We could have been like, we wanted to ask you a personal question, like, you know, we want the fans to get to know you.
Okay.
Because that's the thing. with, we can talk about your sponsors and how you're going to be feeling this weekend. But a lot of the people out there don't get access to us all the time because we are in the zone, right?
Yes.
We do have a job to do out here. We have a race. We have an obligation, obviously, to interact with the fans. That's part of our job. We love it. But for the people that don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself. How long you've been racing, how you got started, why you love this sport so much, stuff like that.
Okay.
Your favorite music, your colors, whatever.
All right. Well, it all started in '94. I mean, I've been racing BMX for 20 years. For people that don't know me, I'm Southern California. I'm an Orange County kid. I grew up at the Orange Y BMX. Tons of rich history from pros coming from that track. I'm doing clinics right now. I work with hundreds of kids in the Orange County and Southern California area. I have my own clinics going at the Orange Y BMX track. Basically I've been a national champion on the amateur cruiser, so that was one of my biggest accomplishments on the amateur side. And now I'm looking to step up in the pro ranks. Feeling pretty good about myself and my riding the last couple of years. And I'm looking to take it to the next level in the main events in the AA class.
So you got that cruiser title riding for the Tribe, correct?
Redmond, yes. I won my national title with the Tribe, correct.
Which is good. I mean, Mike Redmond building tons of champions over the course of BMX history. Now you're doing it for Pro Max.
Exactly.
Speak a little bit about that.
Fortunately, unfortunately, last season, midway through the year, I was actually, as everyone knows, I was riding for.
He forgot. That's okay. That's a good thing.
Exactly. You know what? I should forget. I was riding for Speedco, and midway through the year, they decided to end their BMX program, and they dropped a lot of all their pros. So unfortunately, I was left without a ride. And fortunately, Michael Gamsetter over there at Box and Toby Henderson decided they were going to give me a shot, and I came through for them second half of the year last year. I got in a bunch of mains. I made the main event at the Grands and took a 7th, and that's a good accomplishment for me. I think it was a good stepping stone, and I'm looking to build upon it this year for Box and Pro Max.
Well, you have to speak to that. I mean, as a rider trying to make it in any class, the amateur class, the pro ranks, to have a solid sponsor and then to be left with nothing.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard mentally for you, because you're doing many things. You're trying to, again, find a new sponsor, make it into the class, into those results that you would like to see. Like, how did you overcome that? What was your mindset?
Honestly, that was probably the biggest thing, was just mentally, just going through that process and not knowing what's going on the whole halfway through the year, and just all of a sudden being dropped. I couldn't get to races. It was a difficult time for me, and I think I responded well from it, and I learned from it a lot. And I think it's gonna, at the end of the day, it's gonna make me a better rider. Learning from that. But mentally, it was very, very tough trying to get back from that.
I bet.
Yeah. So.
Tyler, do you not like him, or
no?
Do you not have nothing to say to him?
I love Cookie. He's one of my favorites.
Why is he one of your favorites?
Cookie, me and Cookie go back like 2 years now, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
And we used to have a good time at the training center.
Training center.
Together. You were out there, Don. Don't act like you weren't there.
The training center. We're talking about the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista. All of us trying to make a run for the 2012 Olympics. Everybody wants to be a superstar, get a part of the show. We all spend a lot of time together. And this guy, he was good. He's so emotional, is what he is, and that's good. You have to have that in the sport to make it. But this guy was great to see him grow from just getting into the class, making his mark. He's a good guy. If you don't know him, go up and talk to him. He's super genuine. And yeah, just don't make him mad. Like he does. Like sometimes when you make him mad, he gets.
I got a little bit of fire on me. I got a little bit of fire.
Really mad.
Cookie's got this little switch on him. He's a little hothead sometimes when we're doing the regular sport. when Cookie was teaching us volleyball out there, we weren't bouncing the ball right.
I'm a really competitive guy, and sometimes I just take it to that next level, and I should just bring it down a little bit.
Which is good. That's good. We all have our hang-ups, and we all have our things. So this weekend, you were here last year. I know that.
I was.
Speak to your hopes for this weekend.
You know what? As long as no one's walking off, I think we'll be okay.
So you want everybody to crash?
No, you know what? Everyone's going to be fine. I'm excited. We got some good weather out here. It's hot and humid. It's not raining, which is nice. So I'm excited. This is a great track. It's smooth. The asphalt turns. It's a classic ABA style track, and I'm ready to do some work on it. Looks good.
That's good. Tyler, you're just done with this guy already, right?
No. I want to touch on something with you.
Okay.
Oh.
I want to ask you a little bit about your pedals to metals that you got going on.
Oh, you do?
I don't know if you have that on
That
one
is
of the pre-shows, but
it was on the last pre-show. That is actually unprompted. So, but thank you for asking about that. So yeah, pedals to metals. We spoke about it a little on the Albuquerque show. I don't know if that thing got posted. I know there's a little bit of technical difficulties, but pedalstometals.com. Basically, something that Mike Day, fellow BMX medalist, and myself are putting together. Basically, what we're trying to do, it's a virtual clinic of sorts. You know, we can't obviously be everywhere in the country teaching clinics, which we love to do, love interacting with all the kids and parents. So we want to try and bring our clinic to the online world, to where everybody can access it, like at any time, whether at home, at the track, with their mobile device. But I think it's going to grow into something much bigger, more like a community, a support system. We want people to be able to bounce ideas off of Mike and I, to have access to us more than obviously what we have at the track, because there is a job that we're here to do. But so we're trying to take things online, and right now we're just starting off with Winning Wednesdays, which is basically a free tip that Mike and I send out via email every week on Wednesday. So you can sign up for that at pedalstometals.com.
I'm actually pre-signed for that.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I went ahead and supported you guys.
What did you think of the Winning Wednesdays tip the last couple weeks?
I like the tips. Those are definitely things that the kids need to know, and the experts and the amateurs and even the other pros who don't know about it. Those are things I've learned coming up in the pro ranks myself. So it's definitely got some good tips going on the Wednesday tip. So
yeah, absolutely. So basically, what we're doing is not, it's more, people always say, oh, we're trying to give back. Well, I think it's more like we're trying to pay it forward. Because everything that we've all accomplished, and everybody that has had success, it's all because of other people and their help. And so, Mike and I are just trying to develop something that, offers a little assistance to everybody else that are trying to find their own dreams and reach their own goals, whether, they're 6 or 60. Sign up for free, pedalstometals.com. Pedals, the number 2. That represents the 2 Olympic medals Mike Day and I have. I thought it was really clever. I didn't make it up. I'll give credit to Jason Richardson on that. But back to Corey Cook. Thanks for being on this weekend.
No problem. Anytime.
We're going to expect you to see some great things from you this weekend, obviously. Commercial break number 2. Our next guest, you're going to love him, coming up next.
I was born in California like my new stats bloodline.
Okay, Ryder, let's set him up.
But I didn't start racing until my family and I moved back here to Toluca, Mexico when I was 11. I ride and train now all the time. Maybe one day I'll go back to race in the USA. Maybe even win the USA BMX Grand Nationals. My name is Andres Aviles, but they just call me Cheeto.
Olympic Day is a celebration for youth around the world to observe the Olympic values of fair play, perseverance, respect, and sportsmanship. It is also a day to celebrate the International Olympic Committee's 3 pillars: move, learn, and discover. USA BMX has joined forces with the United States Olympic Committee to offer a free day of BMX racing at participating BMX tracks around the United States. For more information on how to get involved, visit usabmx.com.
Second guest right now on the USA BMX pre-show. I told you you were gonna love him. That guy couldn't do it, so we gotta bring this guy on right here, Connor Fields. You do know him, you do love him. Conman, it's his first time on the USA BMX pre-show. I don't know why Tyler Brown didn't have him on prior to me, or why we didn't put you a part of this in the beginning. But Conman, where were you last weekend?
Last weekend, I wasn't really feeling that good after racing in the rain in Poppendall. You know, we flew back to the States, got back on Tuesday night, and I just figured it would be better off to just chill and kind of get over the cold and come in here and then next week in Salt Lake feeling good rather than going and racing sick and, you know, staying sick longer.
Of course. So speak to the Papendal race. For people that saw it on the webcast, you saw it was windy, you saw it was raining, you saw the track was wet, but from a rider's perspective, being there, actually racing on it, speak to that, Connor.
Yeah, it was definitely something crazy. I've never done anything like that. You know, I've raced in mud races before on the USA BMX tracks, but to do it on the big hill, you know, when you already have to be careful on the big hill anyway, and it was terrifying. You know, the track, to be honest, really wasn't that bad, but you put it in combination with the wind and it's raining on you, you know, while you're going out there, and if you're not in front, you're getting mud kicked up in your face, and you know, you're looking to pull a tear off on the jumps. But yeah, it was crazy. I hope I never have to do anything like it again, but it was definitely an experience.
So if you had a choice and you were, let's say, the president of a riders union, would you have had the riders race, or would you have called the event totally off?
See, that's tough because so many people spent thousands of dollars to get there, you know, especially all the privateers who did it on their own dime, you know, who went out there to do that. And I think the only difference that I would have done is, rather than stick to the original schedule that they had, I think that I would have worked more with the weather, you know, and just waited until there was a window, tried to run it all in that window rather than stick to the hard press schedule that they had, because if they would have, you know, just arranged it just a little differently, it could have been a little better. But they worked their asses off to make it better, and the track rideable, and it ended up being okay, and it could have been a lot worse, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and having been there, we knew that the weather was pretty calm in the morning on most of the days, so yeah, it would have, like you said, been good to have kind of noticed that, ran the whole race in a short little block, perhaps in the morning time, but just like you said, like, thank goodness that everybody, you know, walked off safely for the most part. There was a few injuries, but, you know, as there are, you know, a lot of times. But you're here in Nashville. They call it Cashville. Do you expect to bring home some cash this weekend? I don't know.
I don't know. I've been hearing they always call it Nash Vegas, but,
really?
You know, I live in Vegas, and there's nothing about this that even looks a little bit like Vegas.
Like not even on the drive, like the rocks and the trees.
There's probably more trees around the track than there is in all of the state of Nevada, let alone Vegas. You know, if I can walk away from a weekend healthy with a little bit of pocket cash, call that a good day at work.
I agree. I'm going to throw in another question before Faro gets to it. So, again, getting to know the riders on more of a personal level is a great thing for us competitors, as well as the fans and parents and kids out there. So everybody calls you the Con Man, Connor Fields. But I know that you don't really like that nickname, do you?
I don't hate it. That was my dad's nickname for me when I was like a little baby.
So you came out of the womb and he's like, Con Man.
I think something like that. He just called me Con Man from a little kid, and for me that's like my dad's nickname for me. So when he calls me that, it's normal. But when other people call me it, I don't know if I don't hate it. Like, you know, I'm not going to walk around and tell people not to call me it.
Hey, that's not me.
But no, I'm not going to be just Bubba or anything like that. But it's not my favorite. I need a new nickname, so if anyone out there's got any ideas, send me a tweet at CFields and we can work on some nicknames.
So that's true, because you don't want to. Do you just want to be Connor?
No,
because you don't want to be just like Bubba, right?
No, that's no fun.
Nobody can be like Bubba.
The
Condor?
The Condor. You go by the Condor sometimes.
I can do the Condor as long as people don't think I'm trying to spook Matt Hoffman, because he's the original Condor. He's the OG Condor,
yes, of course.
And I'm baby Condor. You know, trying to get my wings.
He's got the little flappy wings.
How about we call you Baby Condor?
That Baby Condor, is there a comma after, or like?
Yeah.
The Baby Condor or Baby Condor?
Let's just keep it at Condor.
Okay. So Faro, what about this cat? What do you got for him?
Oh, I wanted to know that the track, after you touched on the track being wet and all that in Poppendall, I saw a video of Barry crashing
out of the gate?
Not even out of the gate. How did you guys manage to get down the hill in the main event?
You know, it was wet, and all of us were lucky that we had people helping us up there. You know, all of the coaches and the trainers and stuff were all up there wiping the gate down. You know, we all had towels and bags covering our tires. They were doing everything they could to be as dry and safe as possible. And the guys working there were using blow torches trying to blow the hail dry, and so they were doing everything they could to make it as close to perfect as possible. And it was, you could go full gas and you weren't going to spin out. It was just the guys that were willing to roll the dice on it and really put 100% on it and just say, you know what, if I go down here, it's worth it. Those are the guys who ended up, winning and riding really well. And then the guys who were a little bit more hesitant, like myself, those are the guys who didn't quite, do as well as they possibly could have.
So in the commentating booth, I knew that there was one of our competitors up on the gate helping the USA riders. Am I correct in saying that Nick Long was there for his fellow competitors, like drying wheels off and stuff?
Yeah, Nick was really selfless in the way that he went up there and he was helping everybody out. He was drying tires, and not even just Americans. He was just kind of up there helping everybody out and just being a good guy, and everyone was really appreciative of that. And it was really good of him to do that.
And you saw what happened the next weekend in Albuquerque. He won. So if that's not karma or some good graces, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I guess be nice to people.
It's all the right ticket right there. So Connor, real quick before we wrap up. So this year, being another competitor, knowing how competitive you are, how much you want to win all the time, how have you felt this season has gone so far, and where do you expect it to go from here?
It definitely hasn't been my best start to a season that I've ever had. I've been dealing with a handful of things. Got in a car accident, totaled my car, and I was on a medication that really messed me up for a little bit. And
you didn't know this.
Just some things like that.
I didn't know this either.
And it's no excuses. I still line up at the gate and go, but I'm excited right now, and I'm starting to feel good again, and I think it's just going to go up from here.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Ferocious.
When was the car accident?
It was in March.
So
it was right before the season started.
It must have been after I saw you then.
Yeah, it was after.
And it was right before I saw him too, because I saw him crossing the street, and I said, you're there. So it must have been you that I hit. I'm not going to make light of it because I don't know how serious it was. Obviously, that was just a little joke. Donnie just trying to be funny as always. So Connor, thanks for being on here this weekend. Always a fan favorite, this cat, because not only because of what he does on the track, but of who he is off the track. So come see him if you're here this weekend. Watching this thing, he always has time for you. So Connor, good to see you.
Yep.
And I'm gonna see you on the gate, boy.
Thanks for having me on here, fellas, and hopefully I'll be back.
Anytime. We'll see you We'll see you in the gate in a little bit here.
Yeah, see you at practice.
A special number 3 commercial break right now.
Meet Dan and his dog Bongo. They started their own dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more. So Dan worked with Fast Signs. They created a plan to attract more customers, get more business, wag more tails. Still, Dan wanted more, and Fast Signs provided more. Fast Signs help with digital displays, mobile marketing, merchandising, fleet graphics, and more. Now Dan has more sales, more locations, more of the good life. And more is exactly what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs, more than 530 locations worldwide.
I was born in California like my new stats bloodline.
Okay, Ryder, let's set him up.
But I didn't start racing until my family and I moved back here to Toluca, Mexico when I was 11. I ride and train now all the time. Maybe one day I'll go back to racing the USA. Maybe even win the USA BMX Grand Nationals. My name is Andres Aviles, but they just call me Cheeto.
We're live. We're back for the pre-show Nashville. We have Brookie, Brooklyn, Crane, Rockstar Horror Rider. How are you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, and we're back to Donnie. So how was your flight in here? Was it yesterday? Was it today? Like, do you try to get into events earlier or like at the last minute?
Really, whatever's cheapest.
Okay.
I flew in yesterday. I got in about 9:20. So yeah, it was a good flight. I just flew from Fresno, so that was nice, not having a 3-hour drive to the airport.
How much was your ticket?
Almost $1,000.
Almost $1,000. This event, for some reason, was just killer for most everybody to get to. I personally was only $675, so I jackpot on that.
Yeah, it was
jackpot.
ridiculous.
I went 400 on mine.
Really?
So
You're from Florida, though.
Yeah, that doesn't even count.
Yeah, that's like you could have rode your bike here.
Yeah, but I
You're
went
public transit here.
I did a good deal on Salt Lake City next weekend for 400 also. So
Not a big deal. I'm $350 next weekend.
well, you're from California.
Okay, see, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even count. It just negates everything. So back to Brooklyn Crane. Your year this year has been pretty phenomenal, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I want to get on the top of the podium, but other than that, I've been pretty happy.
Well, but the thing that I speak to you about to other people is that the mark of a champion is not so much your ability to win. Anybody can win. Anybody can, go out and win a race or whatever at any given time. But the mark of a champion is consistency. So
Right.
your ability to constantly get on that box, that podium, that second, first, third, making in the main, like that's your first step for anybody looking to break through and gain that confidence is, that consistency, whether you're,
Right.
got to make it through motos or to the semis or, again, getting on that box like you've done so many times this season. Like, that's why I think right now you are got to be the top consistent rider in the female class.
Thanks, Big Don.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just trying to score points.
No, it's been a really good year. This Supercross year is actually the first year I've ever made 2 mains in a row. It's usually like I'll make one, like how I did in Manchester, and get on the podium, and then like last year I didn't make any more mains the rest of the year. So yeah, that's my goal this year, is just to try to stay consistent all year long. I still am sitting 3rd overall in points, and just keep getting on the box.
So Brooke, have you been here before? How do you like this track? Again, going from the Supercross hill to this extremely flat hill.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. I haven't done an ABA race since Florida. I skipped the last couple ones just because I needed a break in between all the Supercross and traveling. But I love this track last year. Yeah, I'm really excited to race this weekend. This track's super fun. I saw they redid the first turn, so should be smooth, should be fast.
And you girls are going to have I think pretty much every girl is here, right? The top girls?
Yeah, we got most all the girls. Elise isn't here because she's hurt, but there's...
I saw Mariana,
Yeah,
Felicia,
Mariana's here, Felicia's here, Shanae's.
Double D.
So yeah, it's going to be a good weekend.
All right, so let's speak real quick to Manchester, where the women got equal pay to the men. A big conflict, sometimes I guess about the women and the men, and should there be equal pay? And I'm sure that was something that you ladies were definitely appreciative of.
Yeah, no, it was really cool of British Cycling to put the rest of the money to match it with the boys. I think we do the same thing. Where I totally understand where like tracks like Papendal, you guys are taking much more of a risk than we are. But like tracks like Manchester, we're pretty much doing the same track, And so it was really cool for them to put in that extra money, and it was a good one to get on the podium, and that's for sure.
That was definitely true. I'll speak to that a little bit. I do think there's 150 guys and 30 women.
Right. Totally.
So like if again, there's arguments both ways on, and again, like these women are risking just as much as the men.
Right.
So there is a valid point there. But of course, there is a lot more men than women. But again,
I
you can play it either way.
I totally agree with that. Like, I can go either way about it. Like, there's obviously way more men. The talent pool is way deeper in the men's side. But at the same time, like, us 35 girls, however many it are, like, we're still doing the same thing type deal.
And you still would like to make a decent living.
Yeah.
For you're putting your life on the line,
right? Especially like in Holland last weekend.
Anybody climbing up on top of that hill should be pretty equal. I mean,
they should be compensated. They should be compensated for what they do.
That's a very
So
Very-
and the women's pro class is just consistently stepping up
Yeah.
as one of the premier classes to watch. I mean, I'm on the fence line or on the gate watching when your guys' races go down. So
Right.
your class is progressing just as much as the men's, and so again, we look forward to a great weekend this weekend. I know you do.
Yeah. Good luck to both of you.
Oh well, thanks as well to you,
Thanks.
and so that we'll end it on that smile because you can't really beat that. We're gonna end it right here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're hoping for a great weekend. Looks like it's gonna be some great weather. You heard from 3 amazing racers that are gonna be putting it on the line this weekend, and then Tyler and I are gonna probably be in there as well. Hopefully.
I thought you were talking about us 3, but then I thought about
No.
the other 2
Within
guys
and
that
then
were.
there's a lot of addition that goes on
Yeah,
here that we
so-
shouldn't be doing. But next weekend we're going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah, for the Great Salt Lake race. It's always great, so we hope to be doing it there again with some configuration of hosts. And we'll see you all soon.